Hey there guys, it's been a while since I've made a video. This one is about badges.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Some of the topics we'll be covering in this video will include the badge levels. On core proficiency, we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, which is all in order of difficulty. For advanced, you have bronze, silver, and gold. We'll also be talking about some of the skills in each of those levels and how the differences in age, ability, and with the use of conditioning will affect the progression of those skills. And we'll also be talking about strategies, things to look out for and try to do in practice and when you're taking your test. Okay, let's get started on the badge levels. On core proficiency, we have 8 levels. Within each level, there is a list of 10 skills. 7 out of 10 of those moves have to be completed in order to pass the test. There isn't a specific order in which the moves have to be done. However, each level has its own compulsory pulse-raising cardiovascular activity that needs to be completed so the gymnast is more likely to pass the test. Some advice for coaches: when teaching the skills, try to encourage the gymnast to remember what the moves are called and present the skills as tidy as possible. For gymnasts, you guys have to try and remember what the moves are called and be as presentable and stylish as possible when practicing and being tested. Okay, next up we have the advanced proficiency. There are 3 levels in total. In each level, there are 8 skills on the list. Only 6 out of 8 of these moves have to be completed in order to pass your test. There is no specific order in which these moves have to be done. However, coaches, you will want to use relevant progressions and conditioning exercises to help the gymnast progress. And gymnasts, you'll want to learn about your strengths and work on your weaknesses to aid the learning of these skills. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the moves and how they are linked between each level. So first of all, we've got some of the running skills. On badge 8, you have to run on the spot for 30 seconds. On badge 7, you have to run freely for 45 seconds. The difference is the amount of time that the gymnasts spend moving, and also, rather than being stationary, they're actually moving around. On badge 6, you have to follow the leader using pairs for different actions for 1 minute. Some gymnasts tend to march on the spot or run around, and this works the same way. On badge 2, you've got 6 shuttle runs where you run from one side of the floor to the other. And then on badge 1, you have 10. Okay, let's have a look at some of the shapes and the moves and how they are linked together in each level. On badge 8, you've got fun gym shapes. You have to sit in tuck, pike, straddle, straight shape, and a star shape. On one of the next moves, you have to transfer weight from one foot to the other. This is also done in a star shape. Next, you have to rock backwards and forwards in a tuck shape. On badge 7, you have to rock backwards and forwards in pike and straddle. And then on badge 6, you have to rock backwards and forwards in tucked position 3 times and then stand on your feet as if you were finishing a forward roll. Okay, let's have a look at some more of the shapes. On badge 8, you've got front and back support. These need to be held for 3 seconds. On badge 7, you'll use back support again, but you will raise one leg at a time towards vertical. Next, you have front support, jump in, and then do a straight jump. After that, you've got front and back support, lower to the floor with control. This is the first half of a push-up or a tricep dip. On badge 6, you'll progress towards doing an actual press-up in front support and a tricep dip in back support. Then you've got side support on one arm, turn slowly to the other. And then on badge 5, you've got front support with a partner. Okay, more shapes. On badge 7, you've got the bent leg dish. This is one of the first exercises a gymnast would learn to condition their core. On badge 6, you have long dish and arch. These need to be held for 3 seconds. And then on badge 5, you will move sideways from dish to arch. These are really good conditioning exercises for your core. Okay, let's have a look at some of the jumping moves. On badge 8, you would jump in and out of a hoop. You can use a straight jump to jump in and another to jump out. On badge 7, you would stand and jump to a safe landing, so you could use a straight jump again. On the previous shapes, we talked about front support, jump in and jump up. When you jump up, do another straight jump if you want to. On badge 4, from box top, star jump to a safe landing. Gymnasts that have jumped off of a vault table or beam would be familiar with this. On badge 3, you would change your shape and then you would do a tuck jump. Another move would be a squat on box top and straight jump off, which is also a vaulting move. On badge 2, you've got jump half turn. Next, you've also got squat on box top again, but you will do a tuck jump off instead. And then on badge 1, you've got a jump full turn. And the last move, you've got straddle on box top and then straddle jump off. Okay, next up, we've got skipping. On badge 4, you have to do it for a total of 30 seconds. And on badge 3, you have to do it for 45 seconds. It's recommended that you continue to practice your skipping so that you can do it continuously without stopping. Okay, let's look at some flexibility moves. On badge 5, you have Japana to 45 degrees. On badge 3, you have your Japana flat. Badge 2, the bridge. And badge 1, front or side splits. These moves won't be very easy to complete in a single session and require strength conditioning and flexibility exercises in order to achieve these. For example, Japana to 45 degrees is on badge 5, and then when you progress to badge 3, it's asking you to go flat. You should continue to practice this stretch until you can. That way, you're a step ahead. Okay, let's have a look at some vaulting exercises. On badge 8, from crouch, you will do 1 bunny hop. On badge 6, you will progress to do travelling bunny hops. On badge 5, you will do tucked bunny hops over a bench side to side. On badge 4, a similar exercise that resembles the cartwheel motion, which is straddle bunny hops across a bench side to side. On badge 3, this one resembles a squat on the vault table, so you'll do a squat on box top and straight jump off. On badge 2, you'll do a squat on box top and a tuck jump off. And on badge 1, you will do a straddle on box top and straddle jump off. Okay, next we have some hop and jump moves. On badge 6, you have hop jump along the floor. This is basically hopscotch, and it teaches the gymnast the idea of going from 1 foot to 2 feet when using a springboard. On badge 5, you have hop, step and jump. Then the last move, you have run, hurdle step into a 2-footed rebound jump. Some gymnasts get a little bit confused with this, as this can be the same setup for a straight jump on a springboard or a setup for a tuck front somersault. Okay, let's have a look at some single leg moves. So again, on badge 8, we have transfer weight from 1 foot to the other. Then on badge 7, you have a 1 foot balance on a bench or box top. There are 2 different positions that you can balance. One is the backward walkover setup or forward walkover finish, where the leg is stretched and held in front of you. And then the second is where the leg is extended behind you. That move is called an arabesque. Next, on badge 5, we have leap from 1 foot to the other. So you're just practicing and teaching the gymnast the idea of jumping from 1 foot to another. Then that sets them up for badge 4, where you have to do a cat leap 2 times on each leg. Okay, let's have a look at some of the other bench moves. On badge 8, you have to walk forwards along a bench on your tiptoes. On badge 7, you have to walk forwards along a bench, full turn in the middle, continue to walk to the end and straight jump off. On badge 6, you have to walk backwards along a bench and full turn in the middle again, continue to walk backwards, turn around and straight jump off of the end of the bench again. And then on badge 2, you have to do a cartwheel quarter turn off of the bench. This is a preparation for a round-off dismount on the beam and can also be used as a round-off preparation on the floor. And also, take note that on badge 3, you would have learnt the cartwheel before you have to do the cartwheel quarter turn off of the bench on badge 2. If you are still struggling with doing cartwheels, then you should work on handstand exercises or perfect your handstand before moving on to the cartwheel again. Okay, let's have a look at some of the partner-based moves. On badge 8, we have matched and mirrored sequence of arm positions. On badge 6, we have follow my leader in pairs using different actions for 1 minute, which is very similar to the matched and mirrored sequence of arm positions. Next on badge 6, with a partner, you have to roll and catch a ball or a hoop. This will be done in a straddle position with some distance, and you would roll the object back and forth. On badge 5, you would do front support with a partner. This teaches the gymnast the idea of body tension and keeping strong in their shapes, while their other partner puts the feet on the back so that they can hold their front support also. On badge 4, chassé steps with an arm swing facing a partner. This is side skipping, back and forth. On badge 3, a teddy bear roll back to back with your partner. This would be done in a straddle position, and you would have to rotate the same way in order to return to the beginning position. On badge 2, you have a counterbalance, and then on badge 1, you have a matched and mirrored sequence to include a roll, jump, and a balance. Okay, let's look at some of the coordination moves. On badge 8, you have to explore patterns using ribbons or scarves. On badge 7, you have to bounce and catch a ball 3 times. On badge 6, with a partner, roll and catch a ball or a hoop. On badge 5, roll a ball or a hoop, travel at its side and pick it up. On badge 4, hula hooping. On badge 3, throw, jump and catch hand apparatus. On badge 2, single knee balance, throw and catch hand apparatus. And then on badge 1, you have to throw hand apparatus, perform a leap, catch, and then perform a balance. Let's take a look at some of the rolls. On badge 5, you have to do a tucked forward roll down the slope, which is also linked to badge 3, where you have to do the forward roll on the floor. On badge 4, you have to do a tucked backward roll down the slope, which is also linked to badge 2, where you have to do the backward roll on the floor. On badge 1, you have to do a handstand forward roll. This one can be done with bent arms, but coaches should use progressions and basic conditioning exercises to help the gymnast hold the handstand and then carefully descend into the forward roll with control. Let's take a look at some of the levers. On badge 2, you have to hold a half lever with 1 foot raised, 3-second hold, and then switch legs. This acts as a progression for badge 1, where you have to hold a half lever or a straddled half lever for 3 seconds. If you continue to stretch your pike fold and your japana, this will aid in the progression of these skills. Let's look at some of the strength holds. On badge 4, you have to hold a frog balance for 3 seconds. This introduces gymnasts to bent arm strength. On badge 3, there are 2 moves where you have to hold a headstand with knees tucked. One of them also asks you to lower down into a frog balance again, so it's recommended to continue practicing your frog balance after you've passed badge 4. On badge 2, you have another headstand, but this time it's done with a straight body positioning, which is a progression for handstands. On badge 1, you have to move towards handstand using apparatus. So this means you could use a block and rest your feet against the block while trying to get your hands, shoulders, hips, knees and feet all in one vertical line to create the handstand shape. And last but not least, the handstand moves on badge 1. Moving towards handstand using apparatus, as we spoke about in the last clip, is to help the gymnast get into the correct shape and body position for the handstand. Change leg handstand teaches gymnasts the concept of going from one leg to the other during an acrobatic move that uses a handstand. For example, forward walkover or backward walkover. And then last, you have handstand forward roll. This teaches the gymnast to hold the handstand and then carefully go into the forward roll after with bent arms. This is also a progression for handstand forward roll with straight arms on bronze. Alright, let's take a look at the advanced proficiency moves and how they are linked together. On bronze, you've got the backwards roll to front support, which is done with straight arms. And that is linked to the backwards roll to handstand, which is on gold. Conditioning exercises like the lying hip raises, hip thrusts, disc rocks to shoulder stand with straight arms will help the gymnast learn how to propel the body towards vertical before they finish the roll. Okay, next on silver, we have the handstand held for 3 seconds, which then progresses onto gold with the handstand pirouette with a minimum turn of 360 degrees. On silver, when the gymnast learns how to spend more time in the handstand, it would prepare them for the length of time they would spend turning in the handstand to complete the pirouette. Okay, next up on bronze, we have consecutive cartwheels, one with the second hand only, meaning 2 cartwheels in a row. On your second cartwheel, you won't use your first hand, you use the second. This is then one of many progressions for the free cartwheel, where the cartwheel is done without the hands. Okay, next up on bronze, we have cartwheel quarter turn as a round-off preparation. This is linked to round-off on silver. Another progression that can be used is jump to backlie on a soft surface and donkey kick, which is also on silver. The donkey kick acts as a progression as it teaches the gymnast the snap-up action, which is similar at the second half of the round-off and the second half of a flick. Next up, we have the round-off, as we talked about in the previous clip, which then progresses towards gold, doing a round-off flick. However, there is also standing flick on gold, which the gymnast would have to learn separately before connecting both the moves together. Using progressions like jumping to the backlie on a soft surface and a donkey kick can be progressed towards doing a round-off and then immediately jumping back to a stack of mats to help teach them the beginning of the connection. Next up on bronze, we have the head spring off of a platform. This is then linked to silver, where the gymnast has to do the head spring on the floor. If we go back to bronze and look at the handstand block, this teaches gymnasts the idea of pushing through their shoulders with straight arms, which then acts as a progression for doing a handspring off of a low platform on silver. Once the gymnast has learnt the head spring on floor and the handspring off of a low platform, this then acts as a progression to do the handspring on gold, which needs to be done on the floor. Next, we're going to look at some strategies as to how the core proficiency moves are linked with the advanced proficiency moves. Starting with badge 8, we've got our fun gym shapes where we sit in tuck, pike, straddle, stand up in a straight shape, and the star shape. The next move, you have to rock backwards and forwards in tuck. Then that progresses onto badge 7 where you rock backwards and forwards in a pike and straddle instead. Then on badge 6, you rock backwards and forwards in a tuck again, but you stand on your feet as if you were finishing a forward roll. Next, on badge 5, you would do a tucked forward roll down a slope. On badge 4, exactly the same, but in a backwards roll. On badge 3, you'd progress from your forward roll down a slope to your forward roll on the floor. Then on badge 2, you would progress from your tucked backward roll down a slope to your backwards roll on the floor. You can see that these are linked to bronze with the backward roll to a straddle or piked position or a forward roll to a straddle or piked position. All of these shapes would have been practiced way before, and then you'd have learnt the rolls to connect the moves together. Okay, there's quite a few links on this one, so let's get started. On badge 8, you have to transfer your weight from one foot to another, which then sets you up for badge 4 later when you have to do lunges with both legs forwards and sideways. This move is an entry for handstands, cartwheels, round-offs, handsprings, and free cartwheel. If we go back to 8 and we look at the crouch position and you have to do 1 bunny hop, this then progresses onto travelling bunny hops on badge 6. Then badge 5 where you have to do your bunny hops over a bench side to side, which then has a similar exercise where you have to do the exact same but straddle bunny hops across the bench side to side. This resembles a cartwheel motion and acts as a progression for the cartwheel on badge 3. Once you're confident with your cartwheels, you can do a cartwheel quarter turn off of a bench on badge 2. After that, that then sets you up for your advanced proficiency moves on bronze. Consecutive cartwheels, one with the second hand only, and then a cartwheel quarter turn as a round-off preparation. That move will set you up for the round-off on silver. Then if we have a look, once you've done your cartwheel with one hand, then if you have splits on badge 1 and your change leg handstand, this then sets you up for the free cartwheel on gold. Notice getting your splits will allow your legs to move further apart, making it easier for your legs to reach the ground before you put your hands down on your free cartwheel attempts. The change leg handstand will build the awareness from going from one lunge to another during an acrobatic move. Okay, next up, starting from badge 8, we've got fun gym shapes, which is also linked to your rocking backwards and forwards in tuck. Next, you'd progress to badge 7, where you would rock backwards and forwards in both a pike and a straddle. Those two moves connected together will act as progressions for your forward roll on badge 3. If you go back to badge 7 again and look at the front and back support lowering to the floor with control, that acts as a bent arm exercise for frog balance. Frog balance, you hold a bent arm position with your knees resting on top of your elbows to complete the move. If we move on to badge 6, you've got a piked V-sit with hand support, which is a core compression exercise, which helps with both the half lever with one foot raised on badge 2 and the half lever and straddled half lever on badge 1. If you go to badge 5 and you look at the Japana to 45 degrees, that is linked to your Japana flat on badge 3. So keep practicing that as much as you can, because that is going to help with your levers. Once you've got all of those moves and you work on your splits on badge 1, front splits or side splits, this will set you up for both the forward roll to straddle lever or half lever for 3 seconds on silver, or the lift to handstand with straddled legs and straight arms, or piked with bent arms on gold. Once again, starting from badge 8, we've got front and back support. This is then linked to badge 7, where you have to hold a back support raising one leg at a time towards vertical. This is a direct link to the backward walkover on silver and the forward walkover on gold. If we look at the bridge on badge 2, once the gymnast is comfortable in this position, they can also lift up a leg towards vertical in the bridge. If we go back to badge 7 and we look at the bent leg dish, this has a clear link to badge 6, where there is a dish and an arch. Practicing these exercises will strengthen your core and also strengthen the muscles that control arching, therefore making the bridge easier. If we go to badge 4, low lunges with both legs forwards and sideways, this will set you up for your entry to the handstand, which is on silver, where you have to hold that for 3 seconds. Your cartwheel quarter turn to a round off preparation, and also you would have done your cartwheel on badge 3 before doing this. So that also sets you up for your round off also. If we go to badge 1, we have splits and change leg handstand. Learning the splits will allow the legs to go further apart, making it easier to transfer the weight over through the handstand in your backward and forward walkovers. The change leg handstand will increase the awareness of changing legs during an acrobatic skill. And last but not least, starting from badge 8, we've got front and back support. This is then linked to badge 7, where you have to do a front and back support and lower to the floor with control. This move is closely related to the handstand forward roll on badge 1, where gymnasts have to kick to handstand, hold it, lower to the floor with control by bending the arms and tucking the head in to get to the forward roll. If we go back to badge 7 on that previous move, that is also linked to badge 6, where you have to do a press up in front support and a tricep dip in back support. If we move on to badge 4 now and look at the low lunges with both legs forwards and sideways, this sets you up for entry into handstands, cartwheels and round-offs. If we take a look at the shoulder stand, that is also linked to the backwards roll on badge 2, which then sets you up for the backward roll to front support on bronze and the backwards roll to handstand on gold. If we look at the frog balance, this is closely related to the headstand on badge 3, as you have to go into the frog balance from the headstand and then also hold the headstand on its own, which then progresses towards badge 2, where you have to do the headstand with a straight body. Once you've gotten that far, then that will set you up for all of your headspring moves on bronze and silver. I hope you guys found today's video helpful. Coaches, gymnasts, parents, if you have any questions about any of the information that was in this video, use the comment section down below and I'll reply as soon as possible. Gymnasts, if you get a little bit stuck or you're not sure about what to do on your badge, then ask your coaches. Parents, if you've got any other questions about any of the skills, badge levels, or just general inquiries about what your child can do to improve, email me at isaac@colchestergymnastics.com. Don't forget to like, share the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notifications button so you can stay updated on all of our upcoming videos. And I'll see you soon.